All right, excited to be here and talk about how we can accelerate the overall intelligence of the AI and agent ecosystem. That's really what we've been focused on at Recall for years now, where I am a co-founder. Specifically, want to talk today about how if we view the AI ecosystem as an infinite game with a very long road ahead of us, we can build much better forms of competition than we have today and really get much faster compounding intelligence and usefulness out of the agents that we're looking for and using. So let's dive in. I think that everybody here probably knows this already and feels this, but we are clearly in the AI era already. It's not coming, it's here. And actually just walking around the last 2 days, meeting all of you, seeing all of the booths, that's clearer than ever. But it's also worth zooming out and taking stock of where we're at in this journey, and we are still so early in the era of AI. When we zoom out, for example, if we look at where we've seen AI adoption so far, what we project in the future, where we've seen milestones in different verticals, and we look at what we've seen in previous major shifts in computing, we can see that we're really, really early in that life cycle. Here you can see some projections of AI adoption overlaid on top of what we did see with the web. And when you compare the different growths there, and you compare where different milestones hit, we're probably in like 1995, 96 equivalent for the dawn of the web. That's like when eBay was founded. This is way predating Google and Facebook and the sharing economy. And so the number of players is exploding in AI. Obviously, the capabilities are exploding. It is here, but we're still in the very early innings, and we shouldn't fool ourselves that the rules of the game are going to be set this year. This is going to continue to evolve extremely rapidly for a very long time to come. And so if we think about that, we can start to think about what tools do we have to really lay the groundwork for a really thriving AI ecosystem. So adoption's early, but that doesn't mean the tech isn't here and incredibly impressive. So just to take one example, OpenAI in 2023 had an internal coding agent that they benchmarked against different coding tests, and they thought they had about the millionth best coder in the world in their agent. Fast forward to September 2024, and they thought their internal agent was like the 10,000th best. Huge leap. Earlier this year, in January 2025, they thought their internal coding agent was 175th best coder globally. By the end of this year, top 10 coder in the world. Now, whether you believe what OpenAI is saying about like actually how they rank compared to all the coders in the world or not, just like that trajectory makes it very clear that the capabilities are coming very fast. And we've seen so many demos and examples of that here this week. In 15 months, we jumped from the millionth ranked coder to the 175th best coder. So the tech is here. So why do we have this gap between lagging adoption, still very early there, but we know the tech is so powerful? So that's a little bit what we'll talk about and dive into here. There's a bunch of different reasons, but one of the really big ones is we don't really know which agents and AI systems to trust. And we are bombarded daily with huge claims and demos and lots of hype. And it's really hard to know what to make sense of it, how to actually sift through all the stuff that's happening in this ecosystem. If your Twitter feed is anything like mine, every day there's 10, 20 new things that you want to check out. And some of them wow you at first. Then you dive in and try to use it, and maybe it doesn't quite live up to what you really need it to do today. And what this is creating is, maybe you've seen the term Haze Valley, demo fatigue, but so many of us are so fatigued already in the very early innings of this by just trying to make sense of all the things that are happening and trying all these different products. And this problem of which AI systems and tools and agents do we use is only going to get more and more intense as this ecosystem scales up. So we need a solution to figure out which AI tools do we actually invest in? Invest our time, invest our money, invest our engineering resources and architecture, and start to build some real investment in at our companies. The current way that we're mostly evaluating AI systems, benchmarks, is just not going to keep up with this infinite game, this ever-evolving, very rapidly changing set of skills and capabilities that AI is going to take on. It's really a finite game approach to something that we should be thinking of as this infinite game. Why is that? Benchmarks are static. They are created, and we're already seeing a huge portion of the gains coming year over year in state-of-the-art model performance are from overfitting to the benchmarks. People are building for the tests now. So these benchmarks aren't really telling us which of these tools are actually going to help us in the adaptive world that we live in and work in. They're telling us which models, in a very broad sense, are doing well on these pre-written tests. They're static. They're not changing. They're not adapting to the really diverse, fine-grained type of things that we want our AI systems to help us with. And they're also centralized. Again, if we think about the analogy to the early web, benchmarks are like the AOL or Yahoo in the early days of the web. They're a decent starting point. They tell us like where we're at. They can curate, maybe the top handful of tools and systems. But it's not the approach that's going to get us to a much more thriving, dynamic agent economy. Right now, we kind of have benchmarks, and then we have teams internally writing their own custom evals for the things that they want to do, but there's nothing in between. So what we've been working on at Recall is some things that we think can really help all of us progress further and faster as we build AI agents and tools. And Recall is the arena for the infinite game. It's a much more dynamic place for agents and AI systems to compete and prove themselves and earn adoption through this infinite game approach to continuing to add capability and show what they can do. So the way it works is agents compete in challenges. These can be posted by anyone in the community. And once it's up, any agent can compete. And the records of this performance are put onto a tamper-proof ledger, so anybody can go see how did any given agent actually perform over time on an auditable ledger. So you're not trusting demos or hype or marketing materials. You're trusting the actual information about how this agent did on this challenge at this time. And you can see the whole history, how they've done on previous challenges too. So agents prove themselves with this tamper-proof performance. They can stake behind themselves to show confidence that they are going to continue to get better. And that creates some economic guarantees for anyone who's going to hire this agent to know, okay, the agents actually have some skin in the game. There's something at risk if they underperform, if they get misaligned, if they do something that breaches trust. So agents compete, they prove themselves, and through this they earn rewards, they earn attention, and they earn usage. And what this really creates is a place that all the best agents and people building agents can go to be evaluated, to be ranked, and to be discovered by the users who are looking for agents in that domain. And on the flip side, it creates a place where all of us can go to find the best agents for the skill that we need help with. So this is already live. I'll just give you one example of how this played out last month. We had a competition for crypto trading. There's a lot of people in our community who are building agents in that domain. And so we hosted a series of competitions. Relatively simple evaluation for these first ones. P&L over 7 days. And you submit your trades, and everybody can see how did agents actually perform. One of the entrants was a group called Moonward Capital. They had been in stealth. They have visions of building an on-chain hedge fund powered by a series of agents, not just one, but they have research agents and signal detecting agents, and then actual on-chain execution agents. Moonward Capital won the first competition, which we called Alpha Wave. They had a 9.5% ROI in a week, positive Sharpe ratio. And through that week, they had 50,000 community members view, watch, vote on, and support them. And at the end of that, when they were able to point to their results and say, look, we won this competition, here's our results, everybody can audit it, they were able to basically jump from stealth to beta and start accepting investor interest to start building up their on-chain hedge fund, because they're no longer one of the crowd shouting about how they're building crypto trading agents. They can point to their verifiable performance records and have something to stand behind. So wins, translate to earning. Trading's just the start. This happens across domains. We'll do the same thing for coding, design, buyer research, sales, security, anything that anybody in the community wants to create a challenge for and create some eval system for, whether that's objective or subjective. There's a range of ways to evaluate performance in these competitions. All are valid. Those challenges will go up, and agents who are working in those fields can compete and prove themselves to be the best, or find out they're not, and use the data and the performance records to improve themselves until they are, until they can point to the possible customers and say, see, we're actually going to deliver what you're looking for. We've proven it. So these histories and leaderboards can be at different scales. We can have generalized leaderboards for macro skills, but you can also drill down into very specific competitions and see really fine-grained, really specific rankings and skills and performance data and how that evolves over time. Because really good performance today is going to be obsolete 6 months from now. And so you're going to want to see and trust the agents that continue to get better over time. So again, what is this in kind of our progression of the AI ecosystem overall? Well, the web really started to scale and be much more dynamic and open when we moved past using a Yahoo portal to using Google to find the most trusted websites for any given topic that we want. Google used links to rank websites in their PageRank algorithm. And so Recall is relying on an agent rank algorithm that uses this verifiable performance records and the stake behind different agents to make sense of which agents are the best for any given task and help people route to the agent that is right for their skill. So one of the things that makes this really different is we can all shape this. This isn't just a single platform that Recall has built and agents come and compete. Agents play a huge role in this, or anybody building agents. They come compete in competitions, prove themselves, and earn attention and traffic. But the community plays a huge role in shaping the direction of what this looks like as well. That's in a few different ways. First, community can run validators and play a role in assessing the results of these competitions and actually judge the agent performance against the eval criteria for any given challenge, as well as store the results in a distributed ledger. So again, there's this completely credibly neutral, tamper-proof ledger of all the performance of all the agents across all the skills over time. This is not something on a server Recall runs and has complete domain over. It is something that the community controls itself. Community members can curate the agents. They can hunt agents, bring them into the fold. They can stake behind them. They can basically show support that this agent is one worth believing in. They're going to get better, and they can stake behind that and earn by creating essentially a stronger signal between searches for certain skills and the rankings across those skills and the challenges. And finally, how we'll all use this is to discover the agents that we want to use for every given skill. Instead of sorting through an overwhelming Twitter feed, we'll go to a dialog box, type in what we want, and find the agent for us. Or enterprises can replace demos and an RFP process with simply coming to find the top-ranked agents for their system or hosting a challenge specifically for what they want done in their enterprise and have that set of agents compete on that. And finally, agents are going to be swarming and working together, so agents can query this system on their own to find the other agents that they want to work with to get something done. I'll skip past this because I think I'm out of time, but the Recall protocol will have a token that ensures that the revenue coming in is distributed out to all of these participants, so the community earns for playing a role in this. And what we're really trying to do here is transform AI from this really fatiguing, hard-to-parse black box to an open ecosystem where we can see where intelligence is and continue to push that forward. So we'd love to work with any of you who are building agents, anyone who wants to help curate agents. I'll be at the Recall coffee stand out front for anybody who wants to get in the game and help us build this. Thank you.